Cancer. The moment you stop carrying everyone else. If you are a Cancer and you have spent your entire life pouring into other people while quietly wondering when it will finally be your turn, this is the message that changes everything. Right now, something in the universe is shifting, and it is pointing directly at you. Not at the version of you that everyone else needs. The real you. The one buried underneath years of sacrifice, years of putting yourself last, years of smiling when you were breaking inside. You clicked on this video for a reason. Maybe you are exhausted. Maybe you woke up this morning and felt that familiar heaviness in your chest. The one that comes from giving so much that you have forgotten what it feels like to receive. Or maybe you just have this deep, quiet knowing that something has to change. And it has to change now. There are 10 specific things I am going to walk you through today, and each one is going to hit differently than anything you have heard before. Some will feel uncomfortable. Some will feel like relief. But all of them are necessary. Stay with me until the very end, because the last thing I share ties everything together. And without it, the rest will not land the way it needs to. Let us begin. Tip 1. You were never meant to be everyone's foundation. There is a belief that lives deep inside most Cancers, and it goes something like this. If I do not hold everything together, everything will fall apart. You have been operating from this belief for so long that it does not even feel like a belief anymore. Feels like truth. Feels like the air you breathe. You wake up and your first thought is about someone else. What do they need? How are they feeling? What can you do to make their day easier? And somewhere in that routine you vanish. Let me tell you something that might shake you. That belief is not yours. You inherited it. You picked it up somewhere along the way. Maybe from a parent who needed you to be the strong one. Maybe from a family system that rewarded you for being quiet and helpful. Maybe from a relationship where your worth was measured by how much you gave. But wherever it came from, it was never the truth. It was a survival strategy. And survival strategies have an expiration date. You were never meant to be the foundation that everyone else builds their life on. That is not your purpose. That is not your calling. That is a role you took on because no one else would. And because you have a heart so deep and so wide that it physically pains you to watch someone struggle. But here is what happens when you become everyone's foundation. You stop growing. You stop moving. You become so busy holding everyone else up that you forget you were supposed to be building something of your own. Think about the last time you did something purely for yourself. Not for your family. Not for your partner. Not for your children or your friends or your coworkers. Something that was just for you. If you cannot remember, that is not a small thing. That is a signal. That is your soul telling you that the balance has been off for far too long. The people in your life who truly love you, they do not need you to be their foundation. They need you to be whole. They need you to be alive and present and full, not drained and resentful and running on empty. And the people who do need you to be their foundation, those are the ones you need to take a very honest look at. Because those relationships are not built on love. They are built on dependency, and dependency will drain you until there is nothing left. This is the first and most important shift. You have to stop confusing being needed with being loved. They are not the same thing. Being needed means someone cannot function without you. Being loved means someone chooses you even when they can function perfectly fine on their own. One of those is a cage. The other is freedom, and you deserve freedom. Starting today, I want you to notice every time you automatically step into the role of the foundation. Every time you start solving someone else's problem before they even ask. Every time you absorb someone else's emotions as if they were your own. Just notice it. You do not have to change it all at once, but you have to see it first. Because you cannot leave a prison you do not know you are in. Tip 2. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a weapon. For most of your life, the world has told you that you feel too much, that you are too emotional, that you need to toughen up, grow thicker skin, stop taking everything so personally. And because you heard this message over and over again from people you loved and trusted, you started to believe it. You started to see your sensitivity as a flaw, something to hide, something to apologize for, something that made you less capable than everyone around you. Let me be very direct with you. That narrative is a lie. And it has cost you years of your life. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the single most powerful tool you possess. The ability to feel what other people feel, to read a room without anyone saying a word, to sense when something is off long before anyone else notices. That is not a flaw. That is a gift that most people will never have. The problem was never your sensitivity. The problem was that no one ever taught you how to use it without destroying yourself in the process. Think of it like this. Imagine someone handed you the most powerful instrument in the world, but they never gave you the instruction manual. So you have been playing it on full volume all the time with no idea how to turn it down or direct the sound. Of course it has been overwhelming. Of course it has been exhausting. But the answer is not to throw the instrument away. The answer is to learn how to play it with precision. Your sensitivity allows you to connect with people on a level that most humans cannot access. It allows you to create spaces where people feel safe, where they feel seen, where they feel understood. That is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. But here is the part that you keep missing. You are supposed to benefit from that gift too. It is not just for other people. It is for you. When you learn to direct your sensitivity inward, something remarkable happens. You start to hear your own needs. You start to feel your own desires. You start to sense what is right for you, not just what is right for everyone else. Your intuition, which has always been strong, becomes laser-focused. You stop second-guessing yourself because you can feel the truth in your body before your mind even catches up. The shift here is subtle but life-changing. Stop apologizing for how deeply you feel. Stop dimming yourself to make other people comfortable. And most importantly, stop giving your sensitivity away to people who have no idea what to do with it. Your emotional depth is not a burden. It is your superpower. But a superpower that is only ever used for others is a superpower wasted. Here is something else that happens when you own your sensitivity instead of hiding it. The right people start finding you. When you stop pretending to be tougher than you are, when you stop performing strength that you do not feel, you create space for genuine connection. People who are also deep feelers, people who value authenticity over performance, people who are looking for exactly what you offer. They recognize you, and those connections, built on truth instead of pretense, will be the most fulfilling relationships of your life. From this moment forward, treat your sensitivity like the sacred gift it is. Protect it, direct it, use it intentionally, and watch how everything in your life begins to shift. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Forgiveness does not mean letting people back in. This one is going to hit hard. And I need you to stay with me through it. Because if there is one area where cancers get stuck more than any other, it is here. Forgiveness. You have a memory like no other sign. You remember every detail of every wound, the exact words someone said, the tone of their voice, the look on their face, the way it made your stomach drop. You carry these memories in your body, and they live there like ghosts, haunting you, reminding you, keeping you up at night even years after the event happened. And because you are kind and because you want peace and because conflict makes you physically ill, you have probably been told that the answer is forgiveness. Let it go. Move on. Be the bigger person. And maybe you have tried. Maybe you have said the words, "Forgive you," but the feeling never left. The weight never lifted. And then you felt guilty for still hurting, which only made everything worse. Here is what no one ever told you about forgiveness, and it is going to change your entire relationship with your past. Forgiveness does not mean letting people back in. Forgiveness does not mean pretending it did not happen. Forgiveness does not mean the relationship goes back to the way it was. Forgiveness is not a doorway. It is a release valve. When you forgive someone, the only thing that is supposed to change is the grip that experience has on you. That is it. You are not forgiving for their sake. You are forgiving so that the poison of that memory stops circulating through your system. You are forgiving so that you can sleep, so that you can breathe, so that you can move forward without dragging every old wound behind you like a chain. But here is where cancers get trapped. You forgive, and then you let them back in, because you feel guilty, because you miss them, because you remember the good times, because your heart is so big that it physically hurts to close a door on someone, even someone who hurt you deeply. And then the cycle repeats. They hurt you again. You absorb it. You pull away. You forgive. You let them back in. Over and over and over. This cycle has to end. And it ends when you understand that forgiveness and boundaries are two completely different things. You can forgive someone and never speak to them again. You can forgive someone and still choose not to trust them. You can forgive someone and keep your door firmly closed. These things are not contradictions. They are wisdom. Your heart wants to believe that people change, and sometimes they do. But change is proven through consistent action over a long period of time, not through apologies and promises. If someone has shown you who they are repeatedly, believe them. Your heart may resist this. Your heart may say, but what if this time is different? And I need you to hear me when I say this. Your heart is kind, but it is not always accurate. Sometimes your heart needs your mind to step in and protect it. Forgive freely, but guard your space fiercely. These two things can and must coexist if you are ever going to stop reliving the same pain. Tip 4. You are allowed to outgrow people. There is a particular kind of guilt that lives inside every Cancer, and it shows up most intensely when you start to grow, when you start to change, when you start to want different things, bigger things, things that the people around you do not understand. That guilt whispers, who do you think you are? You are supposed to stay. You are supposed to be loyal. Leaving makes you a bad person. That guilt is a liar, and it has kept you small for far too long. Growth is not betrayal. Outgrowing someone is not abandonment. It is a natural, inevitable part of being alive. Trees outgrow their pods. Rivers outgrow their banks. And you outgrow relationships that no longer fit the person you are becoming. This is not something to feel ashamed of. This is something to honor. But Cancers struggle with this more than almost any other sign because loyalty is woven into the very fabric of who you are. You do not take relationships lightly. When you love someone, you love them with everything you have. When you commit to someone, you commit with your whole heart. And because of that depth of commitment, the idea of walking away feels like tearing a piece of yourself off. Feels violent. Feels wrong. Every fiber of your being resists it, even when staying is slowly destroying you from the inside out. Here is the truth that nobody talks about. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the other person is to acknowledge that the season is over. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into your life for a chapter, not the whole story. And when that chapter ends, holding on does not make you loyal. It makes you stuck. It keeps both of you frozen in a dynamic that has stopped serving either one of you. Think about the relationships in your life right now. Not just romantic ones, friendships, family dynamics, professional connections. Are there people you are holding on to out of love or out of obligation? Are there people whose presence in your life drains you more than it fills you? Are there people who knew the old version of you and cannot accept the new one? Really sit with those questions. Do not rush past them, because the answers will tell you everything you need to know about why you feel so heavy. You do not have to make a dramatic exit. You do not have to have a confrontation. Sometimes outgrowing someone simply means gradually redirecting your energy. It means making less time for conversations that deplete you and more time for the things that make you feel alive. It means allowing the distance to grow naturally without chasing it, without trying to close it, without feeling like you need to fix it. Not everything that drifts apart needs to be pulled back together. Some things are meant to drift. The people who are meant to grow with you will grow with you. They will celebrate your changes instead of feeling threatened by them. They will ask you questions instead of making assumptions. They will make space for the person you are becoming instead of trying to drag you back to the person you were. Those are your people, and you deserve to be surrounded by them. Here is one more thing I need you to hear. Outgrowing someone does not erase what they meant to you. You can honor the role they played in your life and still acknowledge that the role is over. Gratitude and letting go are not opposites. They are partners. You can be thankful for what was while still walking toward what is next. Let go of the guilt. It is not serving you. It never was. Tip 5. Stop waiting for permission to put yourself first. If I could reach through this screen and shake you gently, this is the moment I would do it. Because this one pattern, has stolen more from you than you will ever know. You have been waiting for permission. Permission to rest. Permission to say no. Permission to choose yourself. Permission to want things that have nothing to do with anyone else. And that permission has never come, has it? Because the people around you benefit from you never getting it. Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can. You do not need permission. You never did. The idea that you need someone else to validate your right to take care of yourself is one of the most destructive beliefs a Cancer can carry. And yet, almost every Cancer I have ever spoken to carries it. It sits in the background of every decision, every sacrifice, every time you swallow your own needs so someone else can be comfortable. Where did it come from? It came from years of conditioning, from being praised every time you put someone else first, from being called selfish the one time you did not, from watching the disappointed faces of people who expected you to show up and you chose yourself instead. Those experiences taught you that your value is directly tied to your availability, that you are only worthy of love when you are useful, that taking care of yourself is a luxury you have not earned. None of that is true. Not one word of it. Putting yourself first is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the most responsible thing you can do. Because when you are depleted, everyone around you gets a lesser version of you. They get the exhausted version, the resentful version, the version that smiles but does not mean it, the version that says yes but screams no inside. Is that really better than someone who occasionally says, "I need to take care of myself right now"? Here's what I want you to really think about. Every time you say yes to something you want to say no to, you are not just losing time or energy. You are losing a piece of your identity. You are reinforcing the message that your needs do not matter, that you exist only in relation to other people. And over months, over years, over decades of this pattern, you wake up one morning and you genuinely do not know who you are anymore. You have no idea what you like, what you want, what makes you happy, because you have never given yourself permission to find out. Here is what happens when you start putting yourself first without apology. First, people will be confused. Some will be upset. Some will accuse you of changing, and they will not mean it as a compliment. That is normal. That is the turbulence that comes with breaking a pattern that everyone around you has been benefiting from. But after the turbulence settles, something beautiful happens. The people who truly love you will adjust. They will respect the new boundaries. They will actually love you more for having them. And the people who cannot handle it, well, now you know exactly where you stand with them. And that clarity, as painful as it might be, is one of the most valuable things you will ever receive. You do not need anyone's permission. You need your own. And I am telling you right now, it is granted. Go take care of yourself. Not after you finish helping everyone else. Now, tip 6. Your home is sacred. Protect its energy. Every Cancer knows this in their bones. Your home is not just a place where you live. It is an extension of your soul. It is where you recharge, where you process, where you come back to yourself after the world has pulled you in 1,000 different directions. Your home is your sanctuary. And if the energy in that sanctuary is off, everything in your life feels off. But here is what I have noticed about so many Cancers. You protect everyone else's peace except the peace of your own home. You let people bring their chaos into your space. You let their problems bleed through your front door. You let their energy sit in your living room like an uninvited guest that never leaves. And then you wonder why you cannot rest, why you cannot think, why you feel anxious even in the place that is supposed to be your refuge. Your home needs boundaries just as much as your heart does. And those boundaries start with being very intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Not everyone deserves access to your home. Not every conversation belongs in your living room. Not every piece of news, every social media argument, every phone call filled with someone else's drama belongs inside the walls that are supposed to protect you. Think about what you consume in your home, the content you watch, the conversations you have, the energy you let in through your phone. All of it affects the atmosphere. All of it shapes the way you feel when you wake up in the morning and the way you feel when you try to sleep at night. If your home is filled with noise and chaos and other people's problems, your nervous system never gets to rest. It stays activated, stays on guard, and over time that takes a devastating toll on your health, your mood, and your ability to function. Start treating your home like the sacred space it is. Create rituals that help you clear the energy. That might mean sitting in silence for 10 minutes when you first walk through the door. It might mean putting your phone away after a certain time. It might mean having a rule that certain topics are not discussed in your home. It might mean lighting a candle, playing soft music, or simply sitting with a warm cup of something and letting your body decompress. You also need to look at the physical space itself. Clutter is not just clutter for a Cancer. It is emotional weight. Every pile of things you have not dealt with represents a decision you have been avoiding. Every drawer you cannot open without anxiety is holding something you need to let go of. Clearing your physical space is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mental health, and you will feel the difference immediately. There is one more thing about your home that matters deeply: the people you share it with. If you live with someone whose energy consistently disrupts your peace, that is not something you can solve with candles and quiet music. That requires a real conversation. A conversation about what you need your home to feel like. A conversation about what is and is not acceptable inside your shared space. This might be one of the hardest conversations you ever have, but your well-being depends on it, because you cannot heal in the same environment that is making you sick. Your home should feel like a deep exhale. If it does not, that is not a small thing. That is something that needs your attention right now. Because if you cannot recharge, you cannot show up for anything or anyone. Protect your sanctuary. It is protecting you. Tip 7. You have to stop absorbing other people's emotions. This is the one that separates cancers from every other sign. No one absorbs emotions like you do. You walk into a room and you feel everything. The tension, the sadness, the anxiety, the unspoken anger. You feel it all, and most of the time you cannot tell the difference between what is yours and what belongs to someone else. It all just becomes one big wave of feeling, and you carry it without even realizing that half of it was never yours to begin with. This has been happening your entire life. As a child, you probably felt responsible for the mood of the house. If a parent was upset, you felt upset. If there was tension between the adults in your life, you carried that tension in your little body as if it were your job to resolve it. And in many ways it became your job, because you were the sensitive one. You were the one who could feel it. And so you became the emotional sponge of the family, absorbing everything so that everyone else could feel lighter. But no one ever taught you how to wring out the sponge. No one ever showed you how to release what you had absorbed. And so it accumulated, layer after layer after layer of emotions that were never yours. Grief that belonged to a parent, anxiety that belonged to a friend, anger that belonged to a partner. All of it sitting inside you, taking up space, making you feel heavy and tired and overwhelmed for reasons you could not explain. Here is the shift that needs to happen. You have to learn to distinguish between your emotions and everyone else's. This is not easy, and it is not something that happens overnight. But it starts with a simple question: is this mine? Every time you feel a sudden shift in your mood, every time an emotion rises up out of nowhere, every time you feel heavy after being around someone, stop and ask yourself, is this mine, or did I just pick it up from someone else? You will be amazed at how often the answer is the second one. You will be amazed at how much of what you have been carrying, processing, and suffering through was never even yours. And in that realization, there is incredible freedom. Because if it is not yours, you can put it down. You do not have to process it. You do not have to heal it. You do not have to understand it. You can simply notice it, acknowledge that it does not belong to you, and let it go. This is not about becoming cold or detached. This is about becoming discerning. You can still care about people without absorbing their pain. You can still be present for someone without taking their emotions into your body. You can still be the warm, compassionate Cancer you have always been, but with a filter. A filter that lets love in and keeps the weight out. There is a practice that will help you with this, and it is deceptively simple. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, take a few minutes and mentally scan through everything you are feeling. Go through each emotion one by one. And for each one, ask yourself, did this originate with me, or did I pick it up from someone else today? If it is not yours, imagine setting it down. You do not have to analyze it. You do not have to understand where it came from. Just set it down. Over time, this practice will train your mind to recognize the difference in real time, and you will stop absorbing so much without even trying. Start practicing this today. It will change your life in ways you cannot imagine yet. Tip 8. The story you tell yourself about your past is keeping you stuck. Cancers live in the past more than any other sign. Not because you want to, not because you choose to, but because your memory is so vivid, so detailed, so emotionally charged that the past never really feels like the past. Feels like right now. You can close your eyes and be transported back to a moment from 20 years ago, and it will feel as real and as raw as if it happened this morning. That is both your gift and your greatest challenge. The memories themselves are not the problem. The problem is the story you have built around them. Every experience you have ever had has been woven into a narrative about who you are, what you deserve, what you are capable of, and what is possible for you. And if most of your powerful memories are painful ones, then the story you have been telling yourself is a painful one too. I am the one who gets hurt. I am the one who gets left. I am the one who gives everything and gets nothing back. Things never work out for me. That story feels like truth because you have evidence for it. Your memory provides the evidence every single day. See, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened too. How could the story be anything other than what it is? But here is what you are missing. You are choosing which memories to use as evidence. You are selecting the painful ones and ignoring the moments of joy, the moments of triumph, the moments when things did work out, when people did show up, when life was actually beautiful. You are not lying to yourself, but you are curating a very specific version of your history, and that curated version is creating your future, because you will always act in alignment with the story you believe about yourself. If your story says you always get hurt, you will unconsciously seek out situations that confirm that. If your story says you are not enough, you will unconsciously push away evidence that you are. The story runs the show, even when you do not realize it is playing. This is where the real work begins. You do not need to deny your past. You do not need to pretend the painful things did not happen. But you do need to expand the story. You need to include the chapters you have been skipping. The chapter where you survived something impossible. The chapter where someone showed up for you unexpectedly. The chapter where you laughed so hard you could not breathe. The chapter where you felt genuinely proud of yourself. Those chapters exist. You have just been burying them under the weight of the painful ones. And it is time to dig them out. It is time to tell a bigger, more complete, more honest story about who you are and what your life has been. Because when the story changes, the future changes with it. Not through magic. Through the simple, powerful act of seeing yourself differently. Your past happened, but it does not have to define what comes next. You get to decide that, and you get to decide it right now. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. You deserve relationships that feel like rest. Read that again. You deserve relationships that feel like rest. Not relationships that feel like work. Not relationships where you are constantly managing someone else's emotions. Not relationships where you have to shrink yourself so the other person does not feel threatened. Not relationships where you give and give and give and the other person just takes. You deserve relationships where you can exhale, where you can be honest about how you feel without worrying about the consequences, where you can show up as the messy, complicated, deeply feeling person you are, and be met with understanding instead of judgment, where your presence is enough, where you do not have to perform, where silence is comfortable, not tense, where you can fall apart and know that someone will hold the pieces without trying to rush you back together. But here is why you keep ending up in relationships that feel like labor. You are attracted to potential. You do not fall for who someone is. You fall for who they could be. You see the best in people even when they have shown you nothing but their worst, and you convince yourself that if you just love them hard enough, long enough, patiently enough, they will become the person you see inside them. This is beautiful in theory. In practice, it is devastating, because what actually happens is you pour years of your life into someone's potential while your actual life passes you by. You become a project manager for their growth while your own growth stalls. You become so focused on who they might become that you never ask yourself the most important question. Is who they are right now enough for me? Not who they promise to be. Not who they are on their best day. Who they are consistently, daily, in the ordinary moments when no one is watching. If the answer is no, that is not a sign that you need to try harder. That is a sign that you need to let go. Love is not supposed to be a renovation project. You are not supposed to build someone from the ground up and call it a relationship. You are supposed to find someone who has already done their own work, who has already built their own foundation, and who can stand beside you as an equal. Not above you, not below you, beside you. This does not mean you need someone who is perfect. No one is perfect, but you need someone who is willing to grow, willing to communicate, willing to show up even when it is hard, willing to meet you halfway. Someone who does not just take from your warmth but actively creates warmth of their own to share with you. Someone who notices when you are carrying too much and reaches out before you have to ask. Someone who remembers that you are a person with needs, not just a source of comfort for everyone else. There is a reason this pattern keeps repeating, and it is important that you understand it. When you grew up learning that love meant sacrifice, you were programmed to seek out people who would confirm that belief. Every time you chose someone who took more than they gave, you were unconsciously proving your original story right. Love means I give everything and get very little back. But that is not love. That is a wound disguised as a relationship, and you deserve to heal it. When you finally experience a relationship that feels like rest, you will wonder why you ever settled for anything less. You will wonder why you spent so many years in relationships that felt like drowning when you could have been floating. And that moment of realization, while bittersweet, will be the beginning of a completely different chapter. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for what you deserve. Stop settling for crumbs when you were made for the whole feast. Tip 10. The transformation begins when you choose yourself without guilt. Everything we have talked about today comes down to this one moment, this one choice. The choice to put yourself at the center of your own life without feeling guilty about it. Without apologizing, without explaining yourself, without waiting for someone to tell you it is okay. Just choosing yourself. Fully, completely, unapologetically. For a Cancer, this feels almost impossible, because your entire identity has been built around caring for others. Your value in your own mind has always been tied to how much you give, how much you sacrifice, how much of yourself you pour into the people around you. Taking that identity apart and rebuilding it, that feels like dismantling everything you know about yourself. And in a way it is. But what you are dismantling is not the real you. It is the cage you built around the real you. And behind those bars is someone extraordinary who has been waiting a very long time to be set free. Choosing yourself does not mean you stop caring about other people. It does not mean you become cold or selfish or disconnected. It means you add yourself to the list of people you care about. And not at the bottom, at the top. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup, and yours has been empty for longer than you want to admit. This transformation will not happen in a single day. It is a process. Some days you will choose yourself beautifully, and it will feel like the most natural thing in the world. Other days, the old patterns will pull you back, and you will find yourself right where you started. Giving too much, feeling too much, caring too much. That is okay. Transformation is not a straight line. It is a spiral. You will revisit old patterns, but each time you do, you will see them more clearly, and you will leave them more quickly. The key is to keep choosing. Every morning, before you do anything for anyone else, check in with yourself. How am I feeling? What do I need? What would make today good for me? Those 3 questions answered honestly will change the trajectory of your entire life. Not because they are complicated, but because for the first time you are prioritizing the answers. You have spent so many years being the anchor for everyone else. It is time to be your own anchor. It is time to plant your feet on solid ground and say, "This is my life, and I am going to live it on my terms." Not out of spite, not out of anger, but out of love. Deep, fierce, unshakable love for the person you are finally allowing yourself to become. The world does not need another exhausted Cancer running on empty. The world needs you at full power, alive, radiant, present. And that only happens when you stop carrying everyone else and start carrying yourself. I want you to picture something. Picture yourself 1 year from now. Not the version of you that kept doing everything the same way. The version of you that made the decision today to change. That version of you sleeps better, smiles more, has energy left at the end of the day, has relationships that actually fill instead of drain, has a home that feels like peace, has a life that feels like it belongs to you. That version is not a fantasy. It is a possibility that begins the moment you choose it. Everything you have heard today was not a coincidence. Found you because you were ready. Ready to hear it, ready to feel it, and most importantly, ready to do something with it. The patterns we talked about, the overgiving, the guilt, the emotional absorption, the loyalty to people who do not deserve it, the stories you keep telling yourself about your past. None of them define you. They are habits, and habits can be broken. Not easily, Not painlessly, but they can be broken. You are standing at the edge of something extraordinary, a version of your life where you are not the one always sacrificing, a version where you are not the one always holding it together, a version where you are full, where you are free, where you are finally living for yourself. That version is not a fantasy, it is a possibility, and the only thing standing between you and that possibility is the decision to start. Do not wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Do not wait for things to calm down. Things never calm down. Do not wait until you have more time, more energy, more clarity. Those will come as you move, not before. The act of choosing yourself creates the energy. The act of setting boundaries creates the clarity. The act of letting go creates the space. You have everything you need. You have always had everything you need. You just forgot because you were too busy making sure everyone else had what they needed. But that chapter is closing. Right now. Today. And the new chapter starts the moment you decide it does. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And above all, trust that you are worthy of the same love and care you have been giving to everyone else for your entire life. Because you are. Without question. Without condition. Without exception. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.